Good evening and welcome to episode 117. As always, we'll start with our gratitude attitude. So, if you would please gently close your eyes. Take a deep breath. As you exhale, relax your body. Take another deep breath. As you exhale, let all your stress melt away. Take one more deep breath. As you exhale, let yourself completely loose. Now, think of one thing that you are thankful for that happened in the past week. Once you identified that, think about why you are thankful. Now let's set it free. If you're by yourself, say it out loud what you are thankful for and why. If you're with someone, tell it to each other. All right. So we all tend to get self conscious every now and then. Today, I thought we'll discuss how to free ourselves from being self conscious. Let's begin with why do we get self conscious? In general, we get self conscious because we feel people may be judging us, or we are worried about how we'll be perceived, or we worry about upsetting someone. Self consciousness is a mental state where we are preoccupied with our self image. That's it. There is nothing more mysterious than that. Excessive self consciousness causes us not to be present in the moment because we are thinking about what the other person is thinking of us or if they are judging us. So rather than being fully present in the conversation, we are not participating. We are there physically, but we are not there. Our uncontrolled thoughts have taken over, and we are at some distant place mentally. These uncontrolled thoughts are what Buddha calls delusion. A delusion is a state of mind that arises from inappropriate attention, making our mind uncontrolled. Everywhere we look, our mind is polluted by the surface of self-concern. It just alters everything we see. We can't see what's going on because we are so obsessed with ourselves. And that's just reflected in our mind. So why is that? Why is it that we regard ourselves so precious but not others? I'm just one person. Others are countless. Then why are we so obsessed with me? Right? We are obsessed with me. One major reason is that we are so familiar with thinking about ourselves. It's familiarity of habit. Venerable Geshe-la says, why? Because we are so familiar with self-cherishing, we are very familiar with an attitude that puts ourselves first. We have been doing this since beginningless time, in every life, life after life. We have grasped at this truly existing I, right? That's the root of it. This truly existing I, right? It exists on its own side in our mind. We think there's a real me, a real I. And we think everyone else is not me, right? We did this experiment. Everyone thinks they are me, right? So there are so many me's. If there was real me, there would only be one me. But there are as many me's as there are living beings. So let's talk about what we can do to reduce our self-consciousness in our day-to-day lives. There are a number of things we can do. One is to stop comparing ourselves with others. Often we find comparing ourselves with other people. Deep down, we know that that's not worth it, right? But we end up doing it anyway. It's keeping up with the Joneses syndrome. To stop comparing ourselves with other people, what we need to realize is that when we are comparing ourselves with someone else, we are comparing to their best version. Because you don't know what goes on in their life. You know what they have projected outwardly. Sometimes you only know what you see on their social media feed. And trust me, never believe what you see on social media. So if you have to compare yourself with your past self. See where you were and how far you come. Compare yourself with 10 years ago, right? You made tremendous progress. This allows us to realize abundance in our life. It also allows us to realize our own strengths. And this will hopefully make you take actions that speak to our strength as opposed to someone else's strength. Another way to stop yourself from comparing with others is something we talk about here a lot: gratitude. If you are grateful for what you have and truly practice that, you will not feel need to compare. Gratitude allows us to be joyful. And joyful people tend not to compare themselves with other people. One other way that helps in this situation is contentment. Again, we talk about this a lot. If you are content with what you have, then there is no reason for comparison. It reminds yourself that money doesn't buy happiness. It never did, and it never will. Another thing which helps with self-consciousness is developing a positive mindset. Have you noticed that a lot of times when life gives us lemons, we tend to complain about sourness of those lemons? A very few people are able to make lemonade out of those lemons. And that's very important because that's positive mindset. Another helpful thing with self-consciousness is knowing that grass is not always greener on the other side. What do I mean by that? Well, let's look at social media habits to begin with. We start looking at Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn, so on and so forth. People put exaggerated self of themselves on social media. I saw an interesting post on LinkedIn the other day. It says someone passed their driver's license. They were 16 or something. And a normal person would say, I passed my driver's license. Who? On LinkedIn, they would say, well, I want to thank my parents, my teachers, my friends for helping me achieve this milestone in my life. I'm humbled by the opportunity to perform at this exceptional level. All kinds of nonsense like that, right? That's a little over the top, I get it. But reality is not too far from it. So don't believe everything you see and hear. Don't put people on pedestal based on their personas. You don't know what goes on in their lives. Another thing that helps with self-consciousness is the fact that we don't identify with our delusions. In the book, How to Transform Your Life, Venerable Geshe-la says that we need to stop identifying with our delusions. Because delusions are distorted conceptual thoughts that arise within the mind like waves in the ocean. And just as it is possible for waves to die down, it's possible delusions to go away as well. And we talk about our Buddha nature, right? Our golden nugget in the dirt at our heart. No matter how disgusting someone's delusions are, we all have that real nature, the real peaceful, joyful nature at our heart. And all of that starts with relationship with ourselves. Our sense of self has to be an authentic experience. It has to be based on who we are, a genuine feeling of peace. No matter how small it may be, when you do meditation, you access that peace. Take that with you all day long because that's genuine. On that basis, we can become a peaceful person with the potential to grow, get wiser, get freer, right? I am not person who gets angry. I am not person who hates other people. I have empathy. I love these people. Delusion does get in the way, but that's not real me. I'm a loving person. I'm a compassionate person. We start doing that, the self-consciousness goes away instantly. So that's the lesson for the day. In today's meditation, as always, we'll begin with a focus on our breath. Once we settle down at our hearts, let's try to imagine that our mind is this deep ocean and our thoughts are waves on that surface. By the way, the natural duration of a thought is 1/60th of a second. So if we don't pay attention to them, they'll subside on their own. Thoughts seem to be uncontrolled. But as we go deep in the ocean, there's stillness away from the waviness. So let's try to focus on the stillness of our mind. If a thought arises, we'll acknowledge it without chasing it and stay in the stillness of our mind. That's the plan. If you're ready, let's begin. Please get into your meditation posture. Straight back, cross-seated position. If you are on a chair, just touch your feet to the ground. Keep your spine upright, shoulders leveled. Gently close your eyes. Keep your mouth just a little bit open. That way, any stress you may have accumulated will dissipate. Palms in your lap, right over left, thumbs gently touching each other. Take a deep breath. As you exhale, relax your body. Take another deep breath. As you exhale, let yourself completely loose like a rag doll. Bring your attention to the sensation of your breath at your nostrils. Feel the cool air as you breathe in. Feel slightly warmer air as you breathe out. Keep your attention at your nostrils for about a minute or so on your own. Now, bring your attention at your heart. Experience the peaceful nature of your root mind at your heart. Let this peaceful moment bring the next peaceful moment. Remember, there is nothing to do. There is nowhere to go. Just enjoy. Now, imagine your mind is this deep ocean. Your thoughts are like waves on the surface. The waves start and they dissipate. There is a stillness away from the waviness, all the way deep. Focus on the stillness of your mind. If a thought arises, simply acknowledge it. Don't chase it. And it will go away just like the waves. Your focus on the stillness of your mind. If a thought arises, simply acknowledge it. Don't chase it. Keep your focus on the stillness of your mind. When you're ready, gently open your eyes. Any questions? No questions?
No questions today.
Okay.
But made a lot of sense.
Good. I'm going to stop recording.